Stitching Up the Pieces by Jessie J. Not again, the Goffstown teammate dragged on her unruly words. What? Even my delusional head and my blood-covered body knew that's not what you typically hear after being struck in the face with a field hockey stick. The 5-foot, 150 perpetrator stood lifeless with her bright red hair and her skin so pale she was almost translucent. Just moments ago, her weapon had swung up, smashed me in the face, knocked my goggles off, and sent blood pouring down my face. Immediately, when it happened, I reprimanded this unathletic girl for her accidental intentions. I had not seen the shock plastered on the spectator's face, but from the silence that grew, I knew it was not about my reaction, but the fact I had blood running down my neck and face. I looked at my white cleats to notice the color had changed to an alarming red tone. The deep, calm breaths I had been maintaining started racing as I seemed to be suffocating, the blood blinding me as teammates rushed to help me walk off the field. The athletic trainer quickly pulled me under her wing as she stated her name, followed by her credentials and experience. She sat me down in the blistering sun, and she wiped off my blood to give me a concussion test. Since I displayed no signs of concussion, I figured I was good to go back in. The trainer informed me that I would need stitches and a doctor's approval for play for the next 2 weeks. At first, our important home game in 2 days was not in my mindset. I was just hoping to go in the next half. That's when the heat, blood, and fatigue were starting to kick in while the adrenaline was wearing off. The trainer suggested that I call my mom to pick me up. My dad ended up picking me up early from my game. Since the injury was on my face, we had to be extra careful where we went for stitches. It was looking like I was going to need 5. My mom planned an appointment with the plastic surgeon, and I was going in the next day to fix the gash above my right eye. The numb feeling sunk in as I not only felt the thread tugging on the remainder of my sensitive face, but also my breaths becoming deep and calm. The bald doctor stood in front of the spotlight, and it looked like a dream. Of course, my protective mother nudged into the boring conversation we were having. So she can't play on Thursday, right? The friendly physician giggled and looked back and forth at my mom and me. I'm not saying she can't play. To me, that meant I was cleared. I was wondering if you could not give her a clearance note so she is ineligible to play. I shot my mom the "are you kidding me" look just to make her feel dumb for even thinking of asking such a pathetic question. As the patient, he looked at me for the final decision. I would like a letter that says I am cleared to play, please. Ultimately, the decision would be mine, so the letter was given to me. I called my dad instantly after leaving the plastic surgeon. I described the appointment to him, and of course, with his competitive nature, he was up for me playing. The discussion continued to my family dinner as scenarios were thrown back and forth about the game the following day. The doctor said that if the stitches pop, she will have a permanent hole above her eye for the rest of her life. One high school field hockey game isn't worth risk of suffering a lifelong face mutation. It's not just one high school game. This is the biggest game they've had all season, and it will determine whether or not they have a bye for the first round of playoffs, my dad informed my mom. Coach Kelly and I will figure it out, I butted in just to end the dinner table conversation. The Novocaine was wearing off, and my new scar was pulsing with pain. I wasn't in the mood to tolerate the bickering, so I went to bed. My dreams consisted of circumstances in which I did play in the game. Starting with the ball at the midline, our small fan club of parents rooting us on, the nervous cheers of inspiration from our captains, the stick rolling back and forth on the freshly painted white line. The heartbeat of my scar was throbbing and acted as an alarm clock, not allowing for any more dreaming or sleeping. I continued with my daily routine of going to school, but was blocking out all the education thrown at me, and was on the lookout for my coach the whole time. After she was spotted, the response I didn't want to hear is exactly what she said. It's all up to you, there's no right answer, and I'm confident you will make the best possible decision. No, I need someone to tell me what to do. It's all up to you, she smiled sweetly. The end of the day came, and I was exhausted from the, whoa, what happened to your eye?
Who do I need to beat up?
Does that hurt?
That does not look good.
Comments. I went to the trainers to hand her my note, but it wasn't where I left it. The only thing I could think of was a master plan from my mom. I angrily dialed her, knowing she had to be behind this. No answer. I didn't even bother leaving a message and just hung up to call my dad. Mom took the letter out of my backpack and the trainer won't let me play without it, I whined while the words scrambled out. I'll call the doctor's office and have them send you another. Thanks, Dad. My voice gave him the confidence that I wanted to play. My phone vibrates and a text from my mom reads, If you play, I'm divorcing your father and disowning you as a child. This foolish threat was obviously a joke, but I was not in a joking mood because warm-ups are starting in just 30 minutes. I checked my email every 30 seconds for the email, but it never came. Luckily, I ran into someone I looked to for all my answers, Andy Emerson. He was my advisor sophomore year, and he is the most helpful person I know. I explained the situation to him. He never gave me an answer. He just always had some helpful advice. Keep in mind, this is just a regular season high school field hockey game. You need to look at the whole puzzle, rather than just one piece. A light bulb went off in my head. That's exactly what I needed to hear. It all made sense to me now. I just had to put it into perspective. The email never came in, and my head was throbbing. So many things were running through my mind, questions upon questions. Would it be worth it? What if I did re-injure it? What if we still lose? Would I even make that big of a difference? They were all hints, and they were leading for me not to play. The letter being taken, the email never coming in, the fact I ran into Andy, I had made my choice. It was best for me not to play. To reduce my temptation to go in, I didn't even bother putting my uniform on. I dragged myself across the field for the first time ever, just to watch the warm-up. Kelly's eyes widened as she saw me, and she smiled and hugged me. I learned a very important lesson through this process, that in order to make the best possible decision, you need to look at the whole puzzle, not just one piece.